Oh, thanks.
All right, hey, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, at Wildcat Stadium. This is Ken. I got my good friend Scott, executive associate producer Rich is in the shack in the air. We got Eagan TV. We got PA Dave Guy helping us out with the big announcements. It's lacrosse night, ladies and gentlemen. The Wildcats are hosting the Lakeville North Panthers. This is a gigantic game for both clubs, and we're going to break it down for you briefly before we get to the intros and the anthem. Scott, what do you got for tonight's game?
Wow, our first big one of the year, right? We've through the first 7 games, we've kind of been pointing to this. This is really kick-starts the schedule of the 6-1 Wildcats, 4-3 Panthers. This one's going to be big. It's kind of a heavyweight fight here, and it's going to help define the balance of the season for both the winner and loser of this contest. We got talented players on both sides of the field, and the most interesting storyline is which team responds. Lakeville North is going to be in a little desperation out. A fourth loss at this point in the season would be crippling for the conference title hopes. Obviously, playoffs, you start anew. For Eagan, a chance to put some distance between yourself and the people chasing you for that conference title and continue to establish that momentum as you get through into the back half of the season.
Well, Scott, we've talked at several intervals recently about that complete game that the Wildcats are looking to put together, and wouldn't it be great if tonight was the night for that complete game?
Yeah, it sure would. In the Eastridge contest and Lakeville South contest, we the Wildcats took a little hiatus for a quarter or more, and it was a factor in both games. And what you want to do is get through tonight and not have that gap, a 12, 15, 16, 18-minute gap where you disappear and don't have possession, don't get shots. You want to be consistent throughout all 4 quarters in that complete game, exactly what you're talking about. Consistency throughout the game. Don't power the battery down for a quarter and let the opponent get back into the game.
We got another nice night. It's a dry night, a little cooler, probably upper 50s, slightly overcast. The lights for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, are on at Wildcat Stadium. We were told that a small technical glitch has been fixed, and we should be ready to rock. This is a 5:30 tilt, only set back a few minutes because of some traffic delays as the Panthers made their way northbound to Eagan. The girls lacrosse will be rocking and rolling tonight at 7:30 as you're watching your introductions. Here are your Wildcats.
Attack junior, number 2, Ryan Colbert. Defense junior, number 4, Zach Merwin. Midfield junior, number 5, Captain Jack Stone. Defense junior, number 6, Captain Tommy Meisinger. Attack junior, number 8, Damian Schultz. Midfield sophomore, number 10, Michael Havoc. Attack senior, number 13, Drew Wilson. Defense senior, number 33, Eli Goldie. Defense senior, number 55, Soren Kroll. The Wildcats assistant coaches are Dale Comer, Matt Simpson, and Tony Matea. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Bob Filter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get ready for our national anthem, which is played before the boys' game tonight, the early game, and we will turn your attention to the field, the flag, and the honoring of our country.
We invite you to join in the singing of our national anthem. Whose broad stripes and broad
All right. Universe of lacrosse fans, that was your national anthem, and our Wildcats are at home tonight against the Lakeville North. We've already kind of demonstrated the breadth and depth of this contest. This is a big one for both teams again, too. The Wildcats have put together some great efforts so far this season, but they have mixed it in there with some sparsed in kind of times when they've kind of gotten their finger away from the button. Isn't that right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. And that, again, we've talked throughout the season, a team that's a little young, gaining some varsity experience. You're going to have some growing pains. We talk about finding a rhythm, finding an identity. Now you're at the point of the season where it has to start to come together. Doesn't have to be all the way there, but it's got to start to come together. And you got to respond to the challenge tonight, the challenge of facing a team that needs this win, and the challenge of being on your home field and with a chance to make a statement. Big statement game for the Wildcats, and also coming off of two lesser opponents last week, a couple of really easy wins. You can find yourself getting down to that pace, and you got to come out tonight at full speed, right? You can't be playing at Apple Valley and Simley pace. You got to be playing at or above Lakeville North pace. If you don't, this is a squad, Lakeville North, that has some people that can score. Colin Schultz, Tyler Winship, Keaton Mose. They can light up the scoreboard, they can get goals, and if you're flat-footed, standing around, not moving, they're going to jump right over you. So it's coming out fast, coming out ready to play, make a statement early, and play the whole game.
We've talked about face-offs. We're hoping that things continue to improve like they have recently. A good problem to have, Coach Felter. 2 goaltenders. He went with Manny Steele tonight.
Yep. So Michael Pavic and Jack Hintermeister are back to their what we believed were their originally signed numbers. So that's number 10, Pavic, taking the face-off. A little bit of a scrum ensuing. And Lakeville's going to come away with it. That's number 17, Zach Toussaint. Now, again, we've talked throughout the season, if you can't win it, don't let the opponent get a clean win. Push them back, make them delay, and that's what was accomplished there. Again, we'd like to see more face-off wins, but at a minimum, if you can do that.
Yeah, nice turnover there by the Cats. I think he might have pushed him out of bounds, and they bring it across the midfield line and get the touch, and they're kind of moving quick. And we'll see if they get started quickly or if they're going to be somewhat patient. So a real quality shot there by
Cole Gibson.
Cole Gibson that just went to the left of the goaltender. And the Cats are on the move. They're going to get a shot off, and we're just going to see if they kind of want to what kind of pace they want to set coming out of the blocks.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to kind of move a little quick, put a little pressure on early. That's how we get it started. Tanner Whips. Nice low shot. Puts it in the net.
1-0 Cats here. We're less than a minute into this contest, and the Cats do make a statement again, too, Scott. One thing that was noticeable, a real nice kind of secondary, tertiary attempt at that face-off, letting those LSMs, letting some help get in there. But when the Cats did get possession, pass, and the pace seemed like it was a little warm right away.
It was pretty deliberate. There was some good movement. The ball was zipping around there between 4 or 5 different Cat players. The shot was open, a little bit far on the distance side, but again, you have an open shot space, take that shot, So up for our second face-off here.
Scoring for the Wildcats is an assisted goal.
So
Number 22.
again, if you could slow them up just a little bit more than that, the south or the north face-off man.
Another big turnover. Looks like Meisinger was Johnny on the spot as he gets it back to Merwin puts it on the turf. Meisinger the recipient, and back to Merwin for the midfield take. Now we're down to Wilson, and we're going to set it up again. And again, we're looking to these guys want to come out quick against these guys. I think we match up really well. If you come out lethargic and don't make a statement and set the pace, someone's going to do it for you.
Yeah, I think you do. And I from what I can gather, the strength of this North team is more on the offensive side. I do see some pretty athletic-looking, big, tall bodies down there on defense. But again, can the Cats use their quickness and exploit the North defense?
Well, and I tell you something, Scott. I mean, you got to be quite a defensive crew to stack up against the Wildcats. We're deep, and we've got guys that are putting the ball in the back of that and just piling up assists. So we've scored our goals. Yes, we've had some games where we probably stack up better than others, and that should be a Wildcat
ball.
retain.
Nice battle there.
So it's one thing if your attacks and your middies can match up well against our poles. how do their polls match up against our guys? We're deep.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see. Looks like they're moving the ball, but looks like trying to get a quick shot in the first 2-3 shots have come from the what would be the goalie's left-hand side or Egan's offensive right side. Oh, Cole Gibson couldn't get a handle on that.
Yeah, the field is spread real wide, real long clearing pass, and he's going to try. He's on the line.
He got on the line. Good call by the official there.
Yeah, that was Gibson who actually let it get in and out of his stick, and he followed that guy who took the outlet pass, forced him out of bounds.
That's great pressure. Oh, he dropped the ball again. A little bit of a stick check there by the North defender, Graham Robbins, a junior.
He did retain. And, Scott, we've talked about unforced errors. We've seen many this season.
We
have not been in blue.
No,
We've played very clean with regard to unforced errors and mistakes, especially once we kind of, with a little intercepted pass there by number 17 for the Panthers, Zach Toussaint.
Ooh, a collision there with two Wildcats. Oh, goal by North there. Two Wildcats, Whips and Colbert, were pursuing the ball, and instead of getting to the Lakeville player, they got to each other. It appears they're both up and okay. That's good to see. Unfortunately, North got a goal on that transition there.
So we're tied up at 1 apiece. 9 minutes, 1 second remaining, quarter one. We just started talking about how we are not prone to unforced errors, and we had a couple, and then there was the kind of the Bowery boys collision over there on the far sideline, and we'll just have to reset and see how things goes. We're back in the circle.
Yeah, and a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers by Eagan in Lakeville's end. Again, we're early in the game. We're 3 minutes in. I think Eagan just has to be a little sharp here in the offensive end. And again, some of this can come from playing Simley and Apple Valley, right? What you can get away with against them, you can't get away with against this Lakeville North team.
All right, the Cats take the midfield on kind of an interesting turn of events. A couple of poles handling the ball for the Cats, and now they're going to reset. You heard the call, Andrew Johnson for the Cats with an assist. Stone trying to wind it up in that corner there.
So Egan's going to have to get that ball moving tonight. They're really going to have to get that ball moving. That's the second, I believe, second or third attempt where an Eagan attacker midi has tried to penetrate the middle on their own, and they get collapsed upon like Lakeville's defense and almost get tackled. And I think we have to distribute the ball at a certain point and make them pay. If there's 3-on-1, somebody's open. Good break up there.
Yeah, right on. The goalie and Soren Thrall were kind of getting tangled up as there was a lot of switching going on the defense as that breakout. That was kind of a fast break. The Panthers will retain.
So a chance here for Panthers to set up. Let's see what they can do offensively. They're moving around.
That ball did not get through. It looked like Donley.
Blocked by Donley. Nice block.
Took it in the chest or the head or maybe the stick even. It's hard to say. Donley back to Steele. Steele looking. Yeah, we've seen a couple of Cats that have tried to do a little more than they need to. And then they get collapsed on and then they lose their footing. And then nice timeout, I would assume, by Eagan. A little trouble advancing and a nice wise timeout.
Yeah, so after the opening goal there by the Wildcats, it feels like a little shaky, just kind of getting their footing, kind of feeling out the opponent, feeling out this game. Definite change of pace from the contest last week against Simley and Apple Valley. So picking up the pace, get used and comfortable with that pace. Lakeville's looking like they've had just one quick offensive possession. Looks like they're going to zip the ball around, try to make some quick moves to the net. Look, these teams watch tape of each other. I would assume that they dialed in and watched South's second quarter against Eagan and all right, once they set up in the zone, what happened? How did you generate those goals, and what does it take? And that quick movement, quick ball movement certainly can do that.
So we're sitting here 1 apiece, 7:31 remaining. Timeout Wildcats as they were trying to work the ball up and get the midline. Coaching staff took a timeout, kind of reset, talk about a few things. a few uncharacteristic mishaps with the stick, a couple of opportunities where trying to create too much space on your own, lose a footing, kind of get dropped upon. Cats will get back out here with possession, and we'll get this first quarter back underway.
Yeah, I would imagine some of the words in that huddle were Coach Felter saying, settle down.
Yeah, breathe.
Do what you can do what you know you can do, and do what we've worked on in practice and execute, right? And so now we get a chance to see if the Cats can react and get a little control back in this lacrosse game.
It looks to me so far that these teams match up pretty well. What I think we'll see, if we see anything, is we'll see maybe some offensively, we'll see us exerting our will a bit more than they will on our defensemen. But we have to just keep playing on and create that opportunity. Another big goal.
Nice finish, Damien.
Yeah, Schultz down low through the sticks, through the wickets, if you will. 8 from 5, that would be Schultz from Jack Stone, put the Cats up 2-1.
So I think that's an example of something you got to do. There's a kind of a diagonal pass, if you will, through a seam there, and Schultz was kind of by himself on the backside. If you saw how the defense was sort of playing in somewhat of a box, and they were really congregated to the left side of the field, you can kind of see what North is doing. They're kind of following the recipe that Eastridge used.
Yep.
In a Winter League final, Prior Lake used this, but it's tighten up, build a wall, and try to keep Eagan out of that area. And the first couple, 3 times tonight they did. So one way around that is kind of a backside diagonal pass. And Schultz was able to sneak in there, get the ball, and make a nice finish there.
Well, and again, too, we've, even in this game and in 2 goals, we've dealt one from the doorstep and then one from out far on the point. As number 3, that's probably going to be Eagan.
So
they're going to give it to North on that one. North with the possession.
So face-offs continue to be a little problematic so far early in the game. Again, only one really clean win by North, but they're getting possession one way or another, and it's a theme we keep coming back to, and it's a little bit of a problem early tonight again. So time to get that corrected and move forward.
North with possession down to Steele's left in the corner.
Nice defense by Merwin there. That's a great play, a great forced turnover. Oh, nice
big
stop
save
by Steele.
Little trouble getting that ball out of the zone there. Some nice defense. Big save by Steele. Sorensen brings it up and gets the touch, and he's got room. Going to get mugged there. Looking, and there's
nice
a goal.
Finish by Damian Schultz.
Right on, they're going to count it, right? No crease, yes.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Yep, Sorensen to Schultz to put the Cats up 3-1.
So good hands, good finish by Schultz. What I like to see is the sophomore, Colby Sorensen, when he travels to the middle of the field, he turns right. He's a strong player, good upper body strength. And there's 2 guys on him and another guy coming. He had the presence of mind to distribute the ball. Don't try to force that shot because he's not going to get a good one off and you're going to get tackled and turn the ball over. That presence to distribute the ball, get it to an open man and let him finish, right?
Well, the mantra on this team has to be we are, in some respects, we're stacked. So there's no reason not to distribute the ball. Great field vision by Sorensen to grab the touch. He had space. He was kind of getting mugged. Found Schultz. Cats up 3-1, 6:06 remaining, quarter number 1.
Well, and now what? Okay, so if 3-1, if we can keep this continuing, find Lakeville North, make your box, right? But if we can distribute the ball and move it around, we're going to make them pay for that, and that's what you got to do.
Clearly. In addition to the fact that if you get some separation on the scoreboard, time eventually does become an issue, as number 12 for the Panthers, Sean Satter, he got the touch, and they're trying to work it in. Looks like Sorensen with a little body blow that coughed the ball up. Panthers are setting up, and they're kind of spreading out in kind of an interesting fashion as Sorensen is marked up with the X-Man behind the net.
That's Keaton Mose, the junior.
Nice job. I think Steele kind of got about as far out in the crease as he could, and he may have been kind of disruptive on that. Panthers are going to maintain possession. Donley trying to pick up the guy with the ball. No flag, a nice
Oh,
thrall.
nice. Yeah, it was oh, he got the goal, though.
Shot and a goal. Yeah, it looks like.
I think that was Mose, I believe. Yeah, Keaton Mose. So, you know, you watch his early, Keaton Mose, the midfielder, a junior, we talked earlier, a commit to Marquette University. Probably speaks volumes for the young man. He's a midfielder, but you see him moving all over the field, moving behind the net, being creative, doing a lot of things, and even withstanding a pretty big physical play there, was able to finish the goal. And no penalty assessed, and you know that we talk about physical play. Soren Thrall's pretty good at that tight end physical play. It's like, that's okay. Deliver contact, and you got to let a player like that know if they start creeping into the front of your goal, you need to meet them and you need to battle them, right?
3-2 Cats with 5 minutes remaining. Kind of a clean win there. Kind of forcing these guys into creating some space. And there's a ball on the ground. It's got to be blue, but it's not. Back on the ground.
Blue ball.
Failure to advance. There's a turnover by the Panthers here, just under 5 minutes.
So Eagan will bring it up into their end, reset, get the right personalities and players in the game, and take another shot at offense here. So again, we've had 6 face-offs and I believe 6 wins for the Panthers.
Nice recovery there as they're working it back out front.
That was a nifty move.
Oh, great save.
Nice save by the Lakeville goalie.
And again, too, I don't think that the Wildcats need to push the panic button. They've
No.
What they're doing is working. Lakeville's going to they're going to maintain. They're going to get possession. They're going to score goals, and Donley's trying to
just box out the Panther.
Yeah, box him out of the paint. Let that ball run out of bounds. So Donley will bring it in probably to steal, and we will see what happens, and that is what happens. Steele looking for an outlet.
So,
oh no.
Oh.
Steele
Keep her moving.
Back to Donley. Yeah, let's get our advance. Kind of a nifty little move to get the ball to Jack Stone, who's bringing it in. He's got a man.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if that was right on the net, but if it was a pretty intuitive save by the goaltender.
It kind of feels like the quick strike here, the quick passes, the quick movement is going to be what Eagan needs to do tonight.
I'm watching the Ward, and I'm hoping that we don't get called for. It looks like it's going to be Lakeville on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. A couple of times he had his arm out there and trying to create some separation, and that is when uncalled. Panthers will bring it out, and so now here's where we got trouble. Creating some space. I'm having a hard time. There we go. Okay, Panthers got the touch. We're at 3 minutes, 3 seconds remaining, quarter one, 3-2 Cats.
Oh, a lot of room to work there. A lot of good save by Steele.
Yeah, a couple of instances so far in this game. Someone has kind of left their cleats in a certain spot, and a post.
It's the post. It looks like they're going to give him a goal.
Well, clearly the Panthers can apply pressure, and we just have to continue to set the tone and let them, kind of chase us throughout the remainder of this quarter and half.
Yeah.
2:50 remaining, 3-3.
I think we got to take a more aggressive stance on the defensive side. Look, what they've demonstrated through the first 9 minutes this year is they have players that can play, that can move, that can create and make things happen, and they're not going to sit back and wait for us. And again, what can we do about this face-off situation, right? This is a different ball game if they're not 6-0 on face-offs.
Yeah, I think that our polls have played.
There we go.
That's a nice one. We have the double LSM going too. So
that's good, nice
Joey
win.
Gallus taking it from Pavic, getting the touch and looking, and then over to Max Meekin. I think it's the first time we may have seen him out there this early in this game. We'll see if the Cats can just kind of settle down and do what they do best, which is move the ball around. That's Whips, who kind of dropped his shoulder, and he's looking.
Oh, another pass intercepted there. Ball on the ground.
There you go. There's a Whips.
I think Whips has come out with it if he still has it.
He
Okay,
does.
let's try again.
Yeah, Meakin up top over to Sorensen.
Smart play there by Meakin. Just pick the ball up, get out of trouble, and reset.
See, there's it's these breaks right here, Scott, that have kind of wreaked a little havoc because it really spats a nice break for the Wildcats. So we're getting this opportunity where we're marked up well, but someone is flying through real estate, and it really is disruptive because
it sure is.
Someone has to give up a man to drop in on the guy bearing down on Steele. Meakin with a shot, and it looks like it off the side of the net. Pretty quality shot. Did not get to its intended destination as Lakeville is bringing it up. And
so the Panthers are doing a pretty good job getting the ball up the field, opening up some space for themselves, and that's it. You can clearly see that's what they're trying to accomplish. They're the way their offense is motioning, they're trying to get space and they're trying to isolate and get some one-on-one or some odd matchups for their scorers who clearly have the ability to finish those.
Yeah, they've had a couple of instances where they've gotten a guy running with the ball with a lot of ground around him, and again, it's confounding to the defense because someone has to decide. Like, here's a perfect example right here. Who's going to give up their man to come in and prevent the point-blank shot? Nice save on the back or behind the head shot. Steele makes a great save. Donley trying to stay out of trouble. I sense a timeout coming here.
Yeah, we could use one. Did we get one?
We did get one.
Yeah, the long stick, Donley got himself in a little trouble over there on the sideline, pinned down by two Panthers. So good use of a timeout.
18.5 seconds remaining, quarter one, 3-3, all knotted up here at Wildcat Stadium. There's been plenty of opportunity.
At the quarter break.
Sounds good.
Yep.
And so we're bearing down on the end of quarter number one. We're going to bring you our weekly or our gamely feature since we have 7 seniors and we had 7 remaining games broadcasts that we started our senior spotlight. So we'll be doing that right at the end of quarter one. As right now the Cats are knotted up with the Panthers with 18.5 remaining in quarter one, and we are on a Eagan timeout.
So a close game, I think, kind of what we expected. I think we're going to, defensively, it's just, again, getting that game speed, getting adjusted up to a good quality opponent, and we're going to see good quality opponents the rest of the year. Again, I think the same thing's happening in offense, too, a little bit like, oh, yeah, this is what we got to do. This is how we play it against a Lakeville South, an Eastridge, a Chanhassen, and it'll come back. And, we talked a little bit off air when you get in a stretch like this. We had a game on Thursday, a game on Friday, and then a game on Monday. 3 straight games. Not an opportunity to practice, and it's just how the schedule works out. You've got 5.5 weeks to get 13 games in, and you're going to have a sequence like this at some point during the year, whether it's a scheduling thing or whether there's weather problems or a number of things, and you have to deal with it. But it sometimes when you don't get those practice opportunities, you can get a little rusty, and so I think as the game wears on, the Wildcats will get back into form.
Trying to get a shot, Damian down, Schultz down
Still
on
has
the
the
grass.
ball.
7 seconds remaining, and he's going to do his best to Meakin shot, a big
good
save. Yeah, indeed.
Can we get?
And there's your horn. I do think, though, as we wrap up quarter one and get ready for our senior spotlight, that a close game, while maybe serving both teams, I think advantage Eagan in a game that wants to hang around 5-6, 6-7, things like that. We wind it up. We get better as the game wears on, as those passes start to connect and the field vision improves. So with that, end of quarter number one, we've got about a minute and a half. Tonight's senior spotlight, my good friend Scott's going to bring you Manny Steele.
All right, so again, this is a fun part of our telecast, right? Getting to do these things and honoring our seniors, who there are 7 of on the team this year. So Manny Steele, you've heard us mention his name. He's playing in goal tonight. goalie for the Wildcats. And this is a good lacrosse story. A lot of people will talk about like, well, boy, I didn't make the right team my 9th grade year. I'm not on this, I'm not on that. So here's a player who made the 9th, 10th grade team his freshman year, moved up to JV his sophomore year, and then junior year got an injury over the winter and was not available to play. He stayed with the team, the JV team. He participated as much as he could, and then there was, of course, an end-of-the-season tournament. He was cleared to play and had an opportunity to come back in and play and get some action. And, he looked pretty sharp during those games for not having played all season, and he stuck it out. And here he is a senior. He's starting and playing probably the biggest game of the year so far. So great story about someone who comes in the program, has patience, keeps working, and gets his chance to shine, right? So excellent, excellent work. So parents, Mike and Angie, some of Manny Steele's other activities. He played hockey in the Eagan Youth Hockey Association growing up. Junior Gold up through high school, was on the Junior Gold A team this year. Next year, he will be a Cornhusker at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, joining some other Eagan lacrosse alums there as well. Talks about his most memorable lacrosse moments, the summer trips with the team, and that's a common theme that we see too. So I just want to share a quick story about Manny. I had the opportunity to coach him 2 years in hockey. Just a real treat. And the first time I met the young man, he was in 5th grade, and it was first night of practice. Warm night, he's walking in, and I had no idea who this kid is, and he's got his surfer haircut, board shorts, a surfer shirt, and he walks right up to me, Coach, I'm Manny, and I'm ready to play hockey. And I was just struck by like the positivity and the enthusiasm, and boy, on the 2 teams he participated for me on, he was a key element of the team. He was a great role model, a great leader, and just got out there and played with that energy and that enthusiasm and that passion, and we see it in his approach to goalie this year. So great. We wish Manny nothing but the best as he heads to Lincoln next year, and thank him for all his great contributions to Eagan Athletics.
Absolutely. Well done, Scott. We are in quarter number 2, 11.5 minutes remaining as Steele and Eli Donley are working on getting that midfield line, and they did get it. It's 3-3 here. The North Panthers are in town tonight as the Cats are Jack Stone working his way around behind the net and starting to set up. He dumps it off to Schultz, a little interception, Panther ball, and they will reset and go back on the offensive.
So again, we've seen a couple of a few intercepted passes so far. The North Poles, they're getting their sticks up. They're playing aggressive and they're cutting off some of those passes. Nice quick move there by Mose.
A crease violation, possibly.
He is quick and crafty and creative. He is a player we need to spot up and keep an eye on. He can obviously create offense for both himself and a lot of other players.
Max Meekin's going to find a shot. He did take it. It was I wasn't sure if he was going to look. Nobody had collapsed down around the net necessarily for options, and it was a decent shot. Nice save by the goaltender. Panthers bring it back across the midline and get their touch. So we are all knotted up at 3 apiece, 10 minutes remaining, quarter number 2. Been a pretty evenly played game thus far. Nothing terribly flashy, nothing terribly egregious. Face-offs, advantage Lakeville North, but we've lamented about that situation for us all year, and we're taking a different approach. Yes, we'd like to win face-offs. Yes, we need possession, but we will work on that secondary and beyond face-off win.
Yep, absolutely. It's what we have to do. It's the point we're at right now. If we can't win them clean, we have to try something different.
Oh, boy, big shot from the point there, number 13. Had a couple of Eagan Wildcats on them. Shot did go wide as they do maintain. Trying to work it up around the front there. Oh, Gallus with a nice stick that nearly got into the way of that pass.
So it looks like, it looks like Lakeville North is just a little sharper as we, through the first into the second. Hey, they had a big game on Saturday against St. Thomas Academy.
Oh.
They were on the losing side of it. But they look like they learned something from that loss there, and they just look a little sharper right now than the Wildcats do.
Max Meekin getting some extended time, and it's so hard to defend against Schultz like that, and that's 2 big saves from right out front of the net. Cats do kind of maintain and do. Now it's kind of a scrum, and I see Sticks, kind of.
I think Damian Schultz came out with that somehow.
He did. He's looking. He's got good vision. Boy, that was a really big save.
So that's a
90%er.
Oh yeah, that's AJ Prechuk, the sophomore goalie, and he's made probably 3 or 4 big saves tonight. Right, that being one of them. He's had a couple earlier on some point blank shots. Another one.
Yeah, that was a really point blank. Kind of Colbert snuck around the goaltender's left as Whips is trying to maintain possession and does.
So it's a good possession for the Wildcats. I think is Whips hobbling a little bit there.
He took a stick in that scrum over there, and he gets it off to. Looks like that might be Gibson, who sends it over here to Wilson, and we'll see what we can do. He makes quick work of the first defender. And almost Johnny on the spot was Jack Stone with that loose ball.
It's going to be.
I don't see a flag, but the ball is. Oh, there it is, way up top there.
So Whip's still favoring. Looks like maybe his left foot a little bit.
Number 10, 32nd infraction for the Panthers. Interference will give the Cats their first man-up opportunity.
So in a game like this, you got to take advantage of these situations. You got Keaton Mose, one of their better players, off the field for 30 seconds. And 2, you're a man up. Key time here. This would be a great time to get goal number 4.
We are 3-3, 7:30 remaining. Cats on the man-up. Big shot and a big save, yeah. You do want to look for those quality shots when you're a man up. He had the lane, took the shot. Probably saw that shot pretty well as the ball hits the ground and again hits the ground as Colbert in and out of his stick. Looks like Schultz is going to pick it up, and he's going to drop that shoulder and start to create some space. Took a little stick head to the chin. No sympathy from the referee as it gets back out top to Stone.
Boy, the Panthers are playing a nice aggressive defense here. They're making the Wildcats pay when they come inside, and they're really trying to make them earn it right now.
I would agree 100% with that. I do think, though, that given the tenacity, and we are still bringing the fight to the Panthers on the defense, I see us slowly getting an advantage here as quarter 2 advances.
And we've seen in a number of our games as the game wears on, the Wildcats kind of wear you down. And if we can keep possession here, if we can keep up this pressure and just keep wearing Lakeville's defense down and down and down and grind them down and get them tired, right? We've seen that in a lot of teams, that it can be a task and a chore to follow around the 6 players that Eagan puts out there.
Absolutely, and we do have some of those kind of bizarre passes. That one did not connect. But we will find the man right outside of the crease, and those are very high percentage shots. So kind of an unforced error by the Cats after we kind of discussed how that has not been a big issue for us. The Panthers will take the midfield line and look for the touch. Timeout Lakeville, I would assume.
Yep, I would think so. They were probably just about to.
They were just about out of their seconds.
Advance. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so here we are, 5:51 remaining, quarter number 2 in the first half as well, 3-3. So far, we talked about this, fairly evenly played game, and we'll come out of this timeout. Panthers will have possession.
I'm looking at the results of Lakeville's games this year, and I see 2 different teams. I see the team that beat Rosemount 14-11, went to Prior Lake and won 10-9. And then the team that lost to Eastview 12-7 and lost to St. Thomas Academy. I think most people would have expected a North win in that game, and St. Thomas took over the game as the game went on. So, again, it's a quick season, Ken. Lots of different things can happen. We can get some Jekyll and Hyde thing going on here with teams. We don't know what happened in those particular nights. North looks pretty decent right now. It feels like Eagan's still kind of trying to get their footing and really get into their rhythm. They're, having it last possession was really nice. But it doesn't feel like they're clicking at quite 100% yet, which could be a result of some of the opponents from last week.
No, clearly, and again, we've talked about that. You can play up to your opponent if it's advantage opponent, and we were hoping that we're taking advantage of the opportunity to pass, shoot, score, et cetera, against Simley and against Burnsville and things like that. So just hard to come out of. It's a tale of two opponents. So Panthers will start up.
I think what Eagan has to do, and when we can take away their space and their time, they're struggling a little bit, and we get turnovers. We just have to be constant not to give them those running lanes and those shooting lanes, because they have whether it's a Keaton Mose or a Tyler Winship. That's Andrew Johnson, I believe.
Goal for the Panthers, 5:30 remaining, 4-3 Panthers, as they were kind of like mimicking this perimeter game, and they just kind of snuck around the right side of the goal on Manny Steele and just kind of dumped one in. So I think the Cats had the whole field kind of defended well. They just did not expect someone to kind of fall away from that perimeter game and kind of make a break for the net. So lesson learned, 4-3 Panthers, 5:30 remaining. We're back in the face-off circle. Real nice
now we got a
clean
clean
win.
win. That's something we can't have happen.
Big save by Steele.
Yeah, big. That was a key save, because we were coming off of a clean face-off win in a fast break situation, and
after a goal.
Yeah.
We may look at that and say, just a little far for Gallus, but the ball could not get into the stick of the Panther, and Schultz had it and dropped it. Gallus is still trying to get in there. And here come the Panthers. But no, that big save, we could come back and say, nice move.
That was a nifty move there by Mose.
Oh, boy, maybe a miscue. Now it's going to stay in.
Slow it down. Ooh, on the grass here at Wildcat Stadium starting to fill in a little bit, and I think that kept that one in bounds.
Yeah, I would agree. It's that darn grass and its growth. No flag. Nice move. Yeah, it was a good play by Eli Donley to kind of get that guy hung up into his person. This is that space that's getting created. Yeah, kind of a nifty little attempt on the behind the back. He may have been better served just actually shooting it.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen a couple of those behind the back plays tonight, and when they work, they can make a highlight film and everybody oohs and ahs, but it's not all the time that they do work, right?
Well,
and oftentimes it sails wide of the net. Oh, that was Andrew Johnson again. So this is a vulnerability that we've seen with the Wildcats. So far tonight, I believe that's the third one that kind of looked like that. We saw that in the Eastridge game. We saw that in the Lakeville South game. That same type of play developing and a quick little cut in front of the net. And just, again, a little vulnerability that Lakeville North is exploiting right now.
Yeah, clearly what's happened on the last two is that Panther was able to create some space. And you gain a step on the man defending you, particularly if it's a short stick, and they're not as prone to the physical aspects of the game possibly. They clearly don't have the stick length that they may be used to going, as we're kind of banged up, and we're going to win this one for the moment.
Nice pickup by Jack Stone there.
Yep, he's going to eat up some space here and try to kind of stop the bleeding a bit. We went back to Manny's big save. Panthers struck anyhow, 5-3 Panthers, 3:51 remaining.
That's going to be a push on Wildcats.
Yeah, that ball was coming over, so an unforced error, and you got to give them time to kind of get us set up here. Panthers got a little over their tips of their skis on that one.
Can't blame them for trying, right? The worst that's going to happen is the official's going to blow the whistle and tell you to come back.
We will clearly take the reset on that one.
Here, saying we got there.
Yeah, it does. We're finding a little bit of our transition leaving us kind of vulnerable. Merwin mixed it up, got it out to
Bucky, I believe.
I think that was Wyatt Bucky who got it out, and Sorensen looking, and there's
Nice
a quick goal.
finish. There we go.
Yeah, Bucky
Boy.
creates a nice opportunity.
So a nice feed, good, great on the transition, opens up the field a little bit. Sorensen finds Schultz, and somebody didn't account for number 8. Is what happened, right? And good, Sorensen picked him up, and again, Schultz is going to finish 99% of those.
Well, and I'll tell you something. Schultz in particular has been in front of the net all day, and their goalie, this is another perfect example. We were at Simley last Friday, and had the goalie not played on the planet that he was on, that score could have been 30 to whatever the Spartans scored.
Yeah.
So we're in another situation where, this guy has prevented a couple of goals.
He sure has.
So we're now with 3:09 remaining. Panthers up by 1. Real clean face-off win. Sounds like there's a whistle. Yeah, it looks like the Panthers are going to maintain possession. Big
nice
save
stop
by
by
Steele. So someone's getting a little too much room in there. Whips looks like he's going to go back to Steele. Steele's looking and finds
Bucky, nice catch.
Yeah, Wyatt Bucky, who's bringing it across.
Looking to get that in the hand of a short stick, but he lost control of it.
Yeah, he had kind of stick checked, and it came out of his stick, so it's going to get turned over. We're under 3 minutes remaining with another ball to the ground. Things are getting a little sloppy right now on both sides. No.
There we go. Okay. Boy, the arms went up in the air on the Eagan sideline, and the flags were just a little delayed. There was some stick work there. See if we're going to get a contact to the head or not. Probably not.
No, I think it looks like it's going to be a push. We're going to get the call here from our executive associate producer.
Yeah, good call. Can a push, 30 seconds.
30-second push is going to put the Cats in a man-up. Now, we were on a man-up. This is our second, I believe, of the night.
Yeah,
and we did pull a trigger just a wee bit earlier than maybe we – this is a game where – possession counts for a man up. Let's find that really good shot.
Make it when you're on that man up for 30 seconds, make it be a good one, right?
Absolutely.
Make it be a really good one.
Colbert with a shot.
Put it back. Yep.
No, I'm not sure if it was shouldered out of the way, but Schultz is going to pick it up, and we still are on the man up, looking and looking.
I would love to spend money on that.
Colbert down in the corner. I think we're back at full strength, and he's looking up top, finds Sorensen, who is kind of directing traffic, and we are under 2 minutes here in the first half.
Another stop by the Lakeville goalie.
Yeah, it's
going to go to Lakeville.
Yeah, kind of an uncharacteristic application of the binders there, and that pull is, you get that stick out, it's very deceptive. Looks like it's got to be Eagan. Yeah, there you go.
Eagan ball.
Yeah, clearly.
Hey, good pressure from the Schultz and Colbert there. Good pressure, forcing a turnover.
Colbert brings it in and gets it up to Wilson, who's going to take it even further up to maybe Stone. No, now Stone. It was Gibson to Stone. Stone looking. We're right around the 1 minute mark here.
Oh, another big save.
22, that's Whips with a point blank shot. The goaltender kind of shaking, kind of working the kinks out, because he clearly took that one somewhere in the chin guard, in the chest. Lakeville's going to have to get a little sense of urgency here.
Oh, just over the outstretched hands there of the of number 24.
Donley taps it to himself, and we're going to see what happens. We got a man back. Wilson's got some space. Big shot
nice
and a
rip
goal.
by Wilson.
That's going to tie it up with 40.7 remaining. That whole thing started with some tenacious checking back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Donley got the ball on the ground. And actually, something that you see Eli do quite a bit, kind of poked it to himself.
Yeah, he did. He kind of gives it a little nudge. And Eli's a big, strong kid. He can get his body between the ball and the opponent, give it a little push, keep that person and give him some self-room to pick it up and some time to make some decisions.
And
time and space.
I don't know if that's something that they're working on, but a lot of the polls do use the body to box out while they tap that ball to safety, and a lot of times they go get it themselves. So we're back in the circle with 40 seconds remaining, 5-5 Cats and Panthers here at Wildcat Stadium on this Monday night tilt. That's going to be
a big face-off win there. Hey,
that was a big one.
I like that. That's a good face-off win there. Well, Stone uses a slip there to his advantage. Ooh, just a bit wide.
Yeah, Gibby just a little wide. Got a pretty good look too. 24 seconds.
So 24 seconds. I think you want to get a really good look here. Bring it down.
Yeah.
Get a good, or at a minimum, don't give the ball back to North.
Yeah, at least get the last shot. Oh boy.
Whips is getting mugged out there.
He really is. He was kind of getting held up a little bit, and then he took two to the. Whips could be the recipient as we're down at 5 seconds. Gotta get
shoot.
it. Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to end. Jack Stone.
Stone with 2.3 remaining, like our buzzer beater a couple of games back for the win against the Lakeville South Cougars, puts the Cats up 1 with 2.3 remaining in the first half. No, that buzzer beater that we had. Yeah, so we're just discussing the timeliness of these goals with seconds and then some or less on the clock.
So it feels like in the last couple of minutes here, Eagan kind of got their mojo back, or kind of got things rolling. You almost wish we could just go into the third quarter right now and skip the halftime break.
Well, and I'll tell you something. I don't know. I completely get what you're saying. It's more of a feeling that I'm getting that the Cats are getting their heart into this, the balance of this first half, because there's still, the ball's been on the ground a lot. There's still been. Well, that was kind of an interesting turn of events, the buzzer beater attempt of their own. But the Cats look like they're invested in this game right now. And again, there's still been a few miscues. There's still been a few wide shots. There's still been a few of this and a few of that. It seems like the Cats have kind of cut the vein open, and they're willing to bleed on this game here as they take a 1-goal lead heading into halftime, Scott.
Yeah, again, just a sense of purpose. Felt like there's some more ownership the last 5 minutes of the game. They kind of like, okay, this is our game. It's ours to win. We're going to take this and take control of the game. And just feels just like there's a lot more energy on the sidelines. And something wasn't completely clicking for the first 19, 20 minutes of the game. In that last sequence there, some nice goals, some nice looks, kind of getting the momentum tipped back in Eagles' favor. Gotten to a couple of 3 face-off wins, which helps. So now you go into the locker room, make some adjustments on the defensive side, and you got to move fast and play quick, and that's going to be the way to combat this Lakeville North team.
Well, we've talked about how 4, 5, and 6 goal leads aren't safe. We're sitting here in a 1-goal game at the half, a game that we've decidedly said that it's a really big game for both teams. It's a personality test, if you will, for the Wildcats, and it is a season defining moment for the Panthers tonight. So we're got a game. It's game on here at Wildcat Stadium. We're going to shut her down here, folks, for just a little bit. We'll be coming back at you with third quarter action. It's Scott, Ken, Rich, Jesse, who's somewhere, director, producer Kevin, who's somewhere, and the crew from Eagan TV. It's 6-5 Cats here at Eagan Stadium, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting a few things taken care of here. We're back at you for quarter number 3. Lakeville North Panthers visiting Wildcat Stadium on this Monday night for this Minnesota State High School League boys lacrosse game. We are up, that being us, the Wildcats, 6-5 here. Pretty exciting first half, Scott. You know, both teams came out trying to define how this was going to go for them. Lakeville probably hoping to create some separation on the scoreboard to see how the Wildcats would respond. I think this close game shows that the Cats aren't going anywhere. Right now, we're up by a goal.
No, they you know, Lakeville got a couple goal lead, and Eagan battled right back at the end of the first half and kind of took control of those last few minutes. So looks like we're ready to go, and it should be a barn burner of a second half here.
They're in the circle. I'm trying to get that number. Is that Otto taking the face-off?
Yep,
it is.
Absolutely, yep.
Nice clean win. Defense falls back, and they are kind of a miscue. And that's a turnover, clearly. So things are going in the way of the Wildcats in the first moment or two. Jack Stone looking to create some space, and does. And he's going to have the midfield line here any second. A couple of guys drawing a bead on him.
Yeah, boy, he had the attention of 4 players as he was moving down the field. He's a fast one, right? And the scouting reports probably say that, and all eyes were on him and trying to keep him pinned to the side of the field.
Well, we've talked about that, Scott. There's a number of Wildcats that'll garner some attention, and that is advantage Eagan. They will wear you down because you just can't cover all of them all of the time.
Yeah, I think it's right. If you're preparing for this team, it's got to be somewhat mentally exhausting and physically when you're in the game of like, okay, well, who do we got to deal with? So Stone's running around all over the place. Damien's going to feed anybody, anywhere, anytime, and Wilson Drew has a lethal shot, right?
Clearly. So halftime tune-ups here as the Cats have possession. They're kind of working that peripheral game. Does someone slow it down? Does someone get the tempo going? What happens from the Wildcats? What do they come out and try to do?
I think the way to combat what the defense is trying to do, Lakeville North's defense, is you try and move faster. Quicker tempo on your passes, quicker ball movement. Make them move. They have some bigger guys defensively. Got to get them moving.
We're playing a little soccer out there right now, not to interrupt, but the ball was in sticks, out of sticks. Now it's out of bounds. Looks like the Panthers will get it going.
Yeah, nobody wanted to pick that one up. I think the way, again, Lakeville North defenders bigger, you got to combat them with speed and movement, right? Get that ball zipping around.
You know, another situation where you've got a Panther that gets a step on his guy and has to draw a defenseman off of his man, and you say to yourself, so what do? I mean, do you let the guy go in unabated, or do you give help and then open up an option in the passing lane?
No, I mean, I think you have to go. You have to take the chance. Oh. That was 18, Colin Schultz.
6-6 with that goal by Schultz.
Yeah.
10 minutes remaining, third quarter.
You know, to get back to your previous point, I think you have to collapse down and go for it and force them to make what could be an errant pass, because you can't let them walk in. A 1-on-0 walk in against the goalie in this sport is probably 90% in favor of the shooter, if not higher. And you have to force the pass or possibly take that player out of the play if you can, right?
Yeah, clearly. And, you know, those are opportunities, too. We've seen some physical play over the years with some of these defensemen. And when one of our defenders will peel off to get that guy who's coming in unabated, it doesn't normally end well for that guy. He's well advised to pass the ball because we have played a physical style of defense. You see the Panthers with their touch, and they're trying to set it up. We're all tied up at 6, just under 10 minutes remaining quarter 3 here in Eagan. Nice little attempt at a save, and that's going to go to Eagan, which is just a brilliant situation. Steele in the crease looking out to Stone, who can eat up some grass in a hurry. Stone to Merwin, and he's looking. Over to Wilson. Back up top. Gibby will take it even further up to Stone as there a few exchanges personnel-wise potentially for the Wildcats. We're all tied at 6. We've talked about it. 9 minutes remaining. Tanner Whips looking. Nice
There
goal.
we go. Good ball movement. Good
Yeah.
finish there.
Clearly, and so what you saw there was Tanner Whips kind of working. He worked it away from that perimeter where he's been prone to firing a shot. The
Yep.
shot wasn't there. He looked inside, right in traffic, found Colbert, who just had to drop his stick and just do a little backhand move. It wasn't flashy. He knew he had a lane. Shot score 7-6 Cats. 9 minutes 3 seconds remaining, third quarter.
Yeah, I like what Whips did. You know, like you commented earlier, we've seen some. That's typically where he's going to pull the trigger and shoot. By not and taking those extra 2 or 3 strides, not only does he bring his defender down there, the whole defense had to move, creating the opening for Colbert to get in, receive the pass, and put the ball in the net.
Kind of a scrum down there. Meekin comes up with it. Meekin's got good wheels. We've seen him on the football field for the Wildcats. He's a 3-sport athlete. Long clearing pass, which kind of off the mark, but it may have found its mark secondarily. That's Colbert, who tried to get rid of it as he was going down, just came up short. Panthers are, this is one of them situations now where you got someone kind of unabated, and now they slow it down, and looks like Thrall is going to be able to pick it up and stay with it.
Nice ground ball pickup
Yeah,
there.
it's huge, and like we talked about, ground balls are not flashy, but man, are they awesome. There's got to be a flag,
Yeah,
and
there
there
we
is
go.
one.
That'll be on.
You know, it's unfortunate because, I mean, clearly it was just 2 kids getting their feet tangled up, but it's the push, and it did serve the Cats well. Thrall with a brilliant ground ball pickup.
Yeah, that again kind of was in on the forced turnover there. Nice pickup, got the ball on the field and drew the penalty. You know, I think the number, I believe it was number 10, Keaton Mose, was trying to work his way through and around the bigger, stronger Thal, and like you said, their feet just got tangled up and results in a penalty. So again, can we capitalize on this 32nd man up?
Yeah, 3rd or 4th man up, and they've had some. I don't know if we've had some success
I don't
actually.
think
now
we
that
have.
it's-
No, we're 0 for 3, 0 for 2.
0 for 3, and we're looking. And again, I think patience is the bottom line here as one skips just wide. Quality shot by Gibby. Schultz will get us started from behind the net as that penalty ticks away.
So again, they tried to feed one into the middle there.
Big shot by
There's a
Whips.
nice shot by Whips.
And again, too, that's that and not a classic perimeter shot, but he saw a look, got the bounce shot for the shot, and score 7:49, 8-6 Cats.
And you know what was interesting there? He caught the ball, paused, and then a quick release. He kind of froze the defender and gave himself some room to work with. And again, the more, you know, as Whip can diversify what he does. So if your Gardner's like, oh, is he going to shoot? Is he going to carry me away? What's he going to do? If you can expand your repertoire beyond just shooting, you can open up space for yourself, right?
Absolutely. So the Cats right now enjoying a 2-goal lead, 7:49 remaining, quarter number 3 in the circle for the Cats. Looks like that is Pavic. I'm still second guessing the number switch.
I am too.
It
Yeah,
looks
I know,
like it's-
because they switched on us and then they switched back and nobody knew who was who, and we got texts from a variety of different viewers and users, and we're
Plenty
like,
of
we don't know who's who.
Meekin's going to get the touch for the Cats and start to set up some real high defense. Now Meekin's very quick, and he you see him get back in the box quickly and looking. And again, too, here's where it comes down to, with a couple goals and the Cats starting to move more fluidly. How do you stop them all? I just don't know that you can, and it gets tiring.
No, you can, and you know, on our, you know, because right there, probably their scouting report says, okay, Stone, Wilson, Schultz. Well, what about Whips? What about Colbert?
Right.
What about Gibson? What about right? You got to be aware of these people. And like, well, coach didn't tell me to watch him.
Yeah, clearly, just we have some really talented athletes. As you see Sorensen with a little arm over move, creating some space and looking. He sees nothing in Meekin's direction, and now he's got. Oh, he had some open space. I think he saw that lane to the goaltender, and that ball just said, I'm just going to go down here in the grass for a minute or so.
The stick in the body went one way, and the ball decided to stay put.
Wilson back up top over to Meekin. And Colbert working it down low. Meekin with the shot outside. Goaltender left. Schultz bringing it in. And he's going to create that space. Couldn't quite get it done. Back up top to Meakin. Over to Wilson, and
So
the Cats will slow her down.
22 on Lakeville. He's Graham Robbins is whoever he's guarding. He's playing really aggressive on him, and I think that's something we can exploit. Watch how he gets right. He's going to approach. Max is a strong, quick athlete, and he's just waiting. He's waiting, and I think he's going to be able to make him pay here because I think he's a little quicker and probably a little stronger than you would expect.
You know, I'm seeing a sense of patience as Colbert kind of sets up behind the net that I think the Cats probably said, let's kind of make sure that we've got that card in the deck for quarter number 3 and beyond because we're working with a 2-goal lead here. The pressure is clearly not on us to put the ball in the back of the net. It would be helpful, but it is not. The onus is not on us necessarily, as I'm not quite sure. That's going to wind up being an Eagan ball.
Oh, it's going to.
I thought the goaltender shoved it out. Okay, so turnover on a very extended possession by the Wildcats. They came up with, we've got that 2-goal lead at the moment as the Panthers are going to start bringing it out. And we'll see how we stack up. And here's that wide open lane where people got to start making decisions.
Just give a little bit too much room to run there. Now, no harm done. No harm done. Smart defensive positioning by the Wildcats, but yeah, they're getting a little room to run. You got to clamp down on them when they step into the box there.
Thought we were looking at an unforced error there as the ball did come out of number 5 for the Panthers stick, but it looked like it was clearly heading out. Great. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that was a really nice move by Max Meakin to play the body, and
the ball just keeps bouncing around. Nobody wants it.
Yeah, that would be a second push. Panthers do maintain possession with a. It was a great play by Max Meakin, and this is where someone. Oh, nice.
So that's what again, we've seen that a couple times from Moores. He's looking for that space and trying to exploit it.
They got a man cutting, but the ball does go behind the net. Panthers with possession. 4:20 remaining in third quarter as Soren Thrall really causing some problems over there. There's a hold or a push as Gallus hits the deck. That's a hold going to be Eagan ball.
Going to Gray.
So about 4 minutes.
Another good ball on, man on defense by Soren Thrall. We've seen that numerous times throughout this year, just the ability to get in tight space and be physical and force a turnover or disrupt the play.
Colby Sorensen with some nice sideline work there to stay off the line and get the touch as he's now heading in for a bit of a wholesale change. Looks like that's going to be Gibson that I believe is coming in for the Cats. Jack Stone has it up top. 3.5 minutes remaining, 2-goal lead. Advantage Cats, 8-6.
So it looks like the Cats are at this juncture of the third quarter being a little more patient and selective with their shots.
Yep.
Getting better shots. Shots that are either going to go in the net or that the Lakeville keeper Prechek can't stop. Right.
Yeah, and then that a quality shot by Stone sails wide. Schultz behind to maintain possession, and the Cats will start again. So we're seeing probably a distinct advantage in the time of possession in this third quarter, and that's not hurting us with a 2-goal lead as Whips is looking some more. Oh, and he just saw what I believe to be, was that Colbert over on the to the goaltender's right. I think that pass may have surprised him a little bit. It came firing in. Now Whips is looking. Doesn't receive the pass. Stone's going to hang on to it and go back behind the net to Schultz. Still seeing the footing being a little questionable. Oh, great shot by Wilson.
Yeah, it is. It feels still. It's hard. Like
I think it's
compact.
hard.
It's hard. Yeah, like
I do. I think until some of that grass comes in, we're going to experience a few of those slips.
Yeah, it's like if this were a professional football team, they'd have 4 different sets of cleats here,
Absolutely.
and they'd be adjusting them for the field conditions. But yeah, it's very, very compact.
No, and we've actually wondered about cleat selection, given the fact that the grass teams have a lot of varying conditions as the Cats maintain on kind of an interesting little turn of events in front of the net there. Stone will set it up and take it all all the way back out to Whips. Cats being very patient. Time of possession decidedly in favor of the blue. Stone looking, little stutter step. Oh, nice pass to Wilson, just wide.
So again, that you're seeing good. Again, doesn't result in a goal. Good offensive movement. When 2 or 3 red jerseys collapse on Stone, a diagonal or cross pass to an open Drew Wilson.
Yeah, they're finding those passes, and that's interesting as Colbert does a little look and trying to work his way around. Oh,
another big save.
Boy, I'll say. Big save on Schultz, though. The give and go. Oh, boy, that hurts. The Panthers came up with it after that. Big save, 1:36 remaining. Cats will get possession back. It's like Wilson looking, goes all the way up top. That's Whips. He's got a shot in him. Big save. Yeah,
ball on the ground.
Yeah, that's
Tanner's
it.
got it.
Oh.
Another big save.
Yeah, Scott, you mentioned this when we were at the half about how it seems like a lot of goaltenders are bringing their best stuff when it's up against the Wildcats. This is no exception.
Boy, he just stymied Schultz, Colbert, point blank. Those shots are normally going to go in.
And clearly.
Boy, the sophomore goalie, A.J. Preachuk, is having a heck of a game right now.
This is that now Stone slides over, but this is that perfect example of a lot of space. Had number 5 for the Panthers decided to hit the accelerator, he may have eaten up some space and had to pull at least one pull off of his man. 1 minute, you hear the PA guy. Nice job from behind with a stick check. Gallus trying to maintain. Gallus by way of Meisinger. Oh, it's going to
go out.
Yeah, it's going to go out. Steele tried. So we're at 47 seconds remaining, quarter number 3, 8-6 Cats. Panther ball behind Manny Steele and the Eagan goal. Meisinger trying to cause some problems for. He's got some space, and that was just a.
I guess that was a shot.
I guess that was
yeah,
my exact words.
I mean.
It was like a field goal.
He was, I think his intended target was the concession stand at the southwest corner of Wildcat Stadium.
He wrote, give me a dog and a Coke, and then flung it over there. 21 seconds, they're looking for that last shot. Let's see if we can prevent it from being too good of a shot. Tenacious, that's Max Meekin with 12 seconds remaining. He's looking, and I think here is clearly just to get the ball.
You get the ball on the field?
Yeah. With
Stone
6 seconds,
pop
he's
up
going
and
to take a
look.
shot.
Oh. Okay, well, we're at the end of the third quarter. I think Eagan was more purposeful, more intentful, played with a little bit more energy in the third quarter.
I think they picked up where they left off at the end of quarter number 2. So good quarter advantage, Eagan. 8-6. 8-6 Cats after 3. You know, the Wildcats kind of got their game wound up a little bit as the second quarter was completing itself. Nice quarter by the Wildcats, Scott, number 3. We got 1 quarter to go here. Anything that you see, any corrections that teams might be preaching? What's the plan moving forward?
I think Egan's got to say more of the same defensively. What's happening is players are making smart decisions. So we've seen Tanner Whips make a couple of nifty passes. And now if you're guarding him, you got to think about, what's he going to do? Smart decisions being made, when to pull up and shoot, when to come back, reset, slow down, make passes. So a good quarter offensively for the Cats, some good decision making. A little slower than we probably thought it would have been. Defensively, I think you've said it a couple times, can take away that green space from their players. Keaton Mose is dangerous if you give an opening, right? He's quick and he's fast. He can do a lot of different things. A couple other, scores. Johnson's had a couple of goals tonight. So Colin Schultz has scored some goals earlier this year. So, but Keaton Mose is where this offense is running through, and you got to take away space. You can't completely stop him, but you got to take away space.
When the Panthers have had an opportunity of wide open pastures, it creates a certain amount of uncertainty, and the defense has a hard time knowing how to respond because you've got someone that is literally coming in unabated, and you are being forced to make decisions that you don't want to have to make. So I think if the Cats cannot get caught on their heels between the midline and the box, the Poles can stay man up and things can Manny Steele's having a great game. I think top to bottom, the Cats are playing what could turn out to be that complete game that we're looking for, and man, it could not have come at a better time. So here we are, up 12 minutes to go. We're in the circle, kind of a tenacious, a cleaner win by the Panthers, and quarter number 4, Scott, is underway.
Not much of a shot there. Tried to maybe a forced bounce there.
Wildcats will take over here as we're getting the fourth quarter underway. Manny Steele looking for some opportunity. He's got a few guys that are looking. He finds one. That's Meisinger.
Can't
very
hold on to
very
it.
sure stick Meisinger, but that pass was he was in traffic. There was a whole bunch of a myriad of things. As it looks like it's going to go to the North team. The Panthers will get possession on that push out of bounds with the ball.
Steele brought it out of the goal that time. He typically doesn't wander too far from the net. He tends to stay close. He found a little space there and decided to walk it up and see what the Panthers were going to give to him.
Quarter number 4 underway. 8-6 Cats. Pretty solid game. Meisinger trying to stay up and at him. Big
Nice
save
stop
by
Steele.
Steele. Steele's earning his money tonight. There's no doubt about that. That was, the offensive guy gained a step, and that's a shot that he's moving and firing. Tough one to stop. Max Meekin staying manned up with number 14 from the Panthers. Meisinger falling up top to the guy who's trying to get away, but not taking away options.
Yeah, it looks like
another big save, a big swing and a miss by Thrall to clear it, but well done, Cats defense and Manny Steele. Thrall trying to stay a man up on that guy.
Nice
ball
first
hits
turnover.
the ground. Gallus has it. I don't know. Ball goes back to the Lakeville team. Gallus, who kind of shut down in his tracks.
nice stop. Nice stop. That was a great stop. That was a point-blank opportunity there that Andrew Johnson, who scored a couple goals tonight, had. A nice save by Manny Steele.
Merwin brings it up. He's going to almost get the touch. He dumps it off wisely to Wilson. Nice line of sight on that last save by Steele. Clearly not the best save he made all night. I mean, it was a nice save, but the man's been tested as the Cats are trying to work it inside. Stick check ball on the ground, back in the hands of the Panthers. Kind of a tough pass. Too bad someone
We
couldn't.
can't be giving that much space to number 10. Not a good idea. That's a player that you can't let roam like that, right? You can't give him a step, much less 15 steps.
It's that situation that we've talked about where he's creating more havoc by that wide open space. I literally felt that there was going to be a little bit more of a physical. You're not going to take that shot, even if it's a game-saving push or forceful check. We're at 8-7, 9:44 remaining, quarter number 4. Cats playing a very complete game tonight. Lakeville clearly not going away. There's been some sloppy play on both sides of the midline in this quarter number 4. We're in the face-off circle, just under 10 minutes, and we'll see how we do here.
So as the game, hey, we'll take that. A little sweep there. Oh, it's going to.
Wow, I thought it was going the other direction.
I thought it was too. I absolutely did.
Yeah. So with a 1-goal game, this is where you have to, your slides have to be there, and people cannot just have complete and total unabated runs at our goaltender.
And I think what we got to do here, so as the game wears on here, that junior midi Keaton Moses is starting to show us why he's committed to Marquette and how dangerous he is. He's not. He's back on the field now. Somebody's got to know where he is at all times and understand how dangerous he is. There are a couple other scorers on this team, but I think his presence on the field is opening up all kinds of room. So probably one of the better players, for certain one of the better players we've seen this year, if not the best.
Taken by number 5, Vinny Zusdorf for the Panthers.
Another push.
Yeah, they're clearly the refs are dialed into the Big Blue pushing on people. I don't know that the box necessarily agrees with all of it.
Nice save by Steele.
We have to. We want to capitalize on those ground balls. Looks like it's going to be Eagan ball. A nice change of pace here. A nice event, and a flag comes
Conduct
out
on red.
Yeah, going to be a conduct on red. Clearly you don't like to see those penalties without regard to the situation of the game. You want guys to conduct themselves like gentlemen, et cetera, et cetera. Tempers get hot. This is a tight game. I think that there's things are going to boil over at some point. A lot of pushes that I think, like I say, the box up here would argue.
Was it really a push?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, after the face-off, we clearly thought that if anything, we would have benefited from some illegal contact, but the Cats will go man up.
So now, again, what is this, our fourth man up or our fifth?
Our fifth man up, I believe, and we've yet to find the promised land here, but this would be a great opportunity to try to find the right. This is number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Number 4.
Wait for the right option here. Take advantage of this. Again, Keaton Mose in the box is third or fourth penalty of the contest.
8-12.
We've been. Rich tells us he's had all 4. So, hey, if we can get him off the field any way we can, right?
8-12 remaining. 8 minutes remaining. Quarter number 4. Panthers did exactly what they needed to do in a man-down situation, and that's get the ball and the touch. Kind of a miscue. Looks like we're back to full strength. Whips to Cole Gibson, and this is that wide open space, and you can. Yeah, that's you're kind of looking for the back of the net to kind of poof out on that because
it didn't.
It really was a nice look that he had as Colbert gets us started, getting it up to I believe Wilson, who's going to start looking.
So again, want a good possession here. I think Lakeville North probably in the fourth quarter has had a little more possession time. We've seen that tilt a little bit from where we were in the third quarter. So just keep these good, smart possessions. Look for good scoring opportunities. Oh, another big save. Gosh, Ken, that's 8, 9, 10 at least.
Yeah, he's really doing well. Now this is that wide open space, and someone's got to step up. Big save.
Hey,
they're all over tonight.
Big save. Hey, did you notice the boy? Right as he was about to shoot, we got a body on Keaton Mose, and now we're going to get something for the aftermath.
So we're back tied up at 8, or we're tied up at 8, I should say. 6:46 remaining. Again, too, it looks like there's a flag down. That we're legal body check, maybe Gallus. Looks like Merwin's off to the sideline. Don't know if he was the number 9. Gibson on the body check.
Okay.
So Cats are man down. We're all tied up at 8. This is a very exciting game for our viewing audience, for the people in the stands, and for those of us in the press box as well. Man down unit out for the Wildcats. See Wyatt Bucky, or that was actually Meisinger up top, giving some trouble. Sticks are up, and there's Gallus. Everyone's giving a look.
Keaton Mose has taken over the game. For the 30 seconds he's out of the game and the penalty, and when he comes out to catch a breather quick, this Lakeville North team can't function. They can't move, they can't do anything, they can't pass, they can't flow. When he comes back in the game, one player changes the dynamic of 9 players.
Yeah, so we're seeing it. We know that the sideline is seeing it as well. So how we respond to it with 6:28 remaining, looks like that might be Lakeville's first lead of the night at 9-8, if I'm not mistaken. It is 9-8 with 6:28 remaining, and we're back in the face-off circle. And we are going to have to find an answer for number 10.
Yeah, I think so. He's probably the fastest player we've seen this year. I think we have the personnel to match up to that, or at least contain that. But he's taken over the game right now. And that's what right? Good players do that, and I think now, another thing we haven't discussed in a game like this, as we wind down, we're under 6.5 minutes. Who steps up for the Wildcats? Who takes over the game? Who responds, takes charge, and gets this game tied up and gets us the lead?
Well, and again, too, I mean, one thing that we have to make sure that we don't overdo at this point is that we can't press.
No,
to the point
not
of
at all.
where
no.
where we try to do too much and balls hit the ground and so on and so forth. It looked like maybe a mouthpiece or something went flying there, and some really good collision.
Another big
Eagan
save.
with a nice shot. The Cats will maintain possession, but no, we've talked about it all night. This goaltender is he's come to do his job tonight.
Wow, I'm fixated on this, but Thomas Miles for East Ridge, great goalie. The other ones I've seen are good, but they're having their career nights against us, and Preach Chuck is too. That's easily 10 big saves, and if half of those sneak in, which they would on most nights, Egan's got a comfortable lead.
Yeah, undoubtedly. So the Cats will maintain possession on like a hold as the ball hit the ground and everybody kind of kicked into like survival mode. Colbert goes up and it winds up eventually up in the hands of Tanner Whips, who's looking. You heard like the Lakeville contingent yelling for the.
Should have been head contact there.
There was head contact.
That should be head
which
contact.
Will really make them happy after they were squawking for the ward. So the shot to the head is not going to sit well with the Lakeville
slash.
fans.
Oh, they're going to give a slash.
Slash.
I thought I saw the stick hit the head. Maybe I was wrong.
So Cats down 1, 5:08 remaining. It's 9-8 Panthers. Cats will get started here with yet another. Got a minute man up situation, and we'll get our man up opportunity once again. I don't think we've cashed in yet. If we've discussed this prior to
No, I
now.
don't think we have. Boy, now would be a good time to do it.
It sure would.
With a minute to work here.
I don't know if the passes are looking real crisp just in this last little sequence, in that everybody seems to be reaching back for the ball as Wilson. He's got his.
There we go.
You're not stopping that pass.
No, once he penetrated the interior of the defense, it was over.
And again, too, let's remember now, we were working that perimeter, and if you noticed on 3 consecutive passes, the recipient had to reach back for the pass until finally one was off the mark and hit the ground. Wilson found it, head shake, shoulder drop. When you're eye to eye, when you can see the whites of his eyes as a goalie, you're probably going to be watching a face-off.
Pretty tough. Yeah, pretty tough.
Okay, so we're all tied up at 9 here, just under 5 minutes. We're at Wildcat Stadium. This is Ken. I got Scott and Rich, the guys from Eagan TV. This wildly entertaining contest between the Lakeville North Panthers and our own beloved Eagan Wildcats. We're in the face-off circle, and still are as Pavic does his job. Gallus trying to finish.
Oh, so close. Let's get a handle on it.
Poked out front again. I think it's going to wind up being Panther.
Keaton Mose.
Yeah,
okay,
again.
There's our guy. I mean, the assignments. Boy, look at that speed.
This way he turns the corner.
Look at that speed. So nice
Big
stop.
save by Steele.
So as you're watching that, so we've talked about Tommy Meisinger's speed. Keaton Mose is getting past him. It just, again, a quick player. Great save. Great save by Steele, though.
Big save. And a flag, and I'm not sure.
There's a Panther.
We got a man down, a Panther down, as there was a Donley, I believe, tried to clear to Merwin after Steele got in some trouble. Merwin mishandled it, and now we have a Panther that was slow to get up. Our executive producer leaning out to try to get some intel.
Is it number 1? Looks like. He's up now. He's walking on his own power.
We're all tied up at 9 here.
That's number 1. That was down Andrew Johnson. He scored a couple goals in this game. So a 1-minute penalty on the Wildcats.
Yeah, we lost Soren Thrall for a minute, a body check. 9-9, 4 minutes remaining.
So a big stop here. Time to make a big stand for the Wildcats.
Yeah, clearly, and we're capable of it. The times that we've run into trouble is where we've, I think that might have been, I think Donley or Bucky may have gotten a stick on that. I don't know if it made it all the way through to the goaltender. Someone got a stick on something. It's when number 10 and a host of a couple others.
Oh, huge turnover. Huge
nice
turnover.
job by Meisinger and
now
a great
you just
ground
got
ball.
Now you just got to walk it in and get possession. Get rid of it, Eli.
Timeout Wildcats,
smart
I would
move.
suspect.
Yep, smart move. Smart call by the coaching
All
staff.
right, we can breathe here for a second. 3:36 remaining. We're all tied up at 9. Cats are presently man down. For the next several seconds, that was an illegal body check by Soren Thrall, number 55, the senior. But again, too, the Panthers can apply pressure kind of at will. When they get the ball down there, they're gaining a step on on Wildcats, and then things kind of slowly deteriorate from there. So they have to tighten up their man up and their markups, and it's anyone's game right now.
It
There's
is.
only 3:36 remaining.
Some big saves by Manny Steele. I think the third quarter, Eagan kept possession, dominated, or won the time of possession. That tipped the balance there a little bit. As we wind down towards the finish here, the Panthers are no stranger this season to close games. A 2-goal contest at Chanhassen, 3 at Wayzata, 3 at Rosemount, 1 at Prior Lake, 1 at Shakopee. They've been in some close, tight games, more so than the Wildcats. The Wildcats have 2, of course, the Eastridge and the South game. So both teams have felt this a little bit. North with a little bit more experience being these tighter games going down the stretch. So I think for Eagan defensively, Keaton Mose at number 10. How do you mitigate and keep the ball away from him? And I think you do that by trying to dominate and get the ball in your offensive end. Critical step right now, kill off this penalty, right? You've got possession. We're going to take possession. We resume play. Smart plays, smart passes. Unless you have the open, unmissable shot, keep possession. Let us get our man back and then tackle the next 3 minutes.
All right, we're about to get started here. Cats do have the ball. 3:36 remaining, 9-9 here at Wildcat Stadium. This is the early tilt in tonight's Eagan Lacrosse schedule. The girls will be up next at 7:30. Lights are functioning well. Jack Stone with the ball, looking for space. Finds Merwin, who's going to go up and get the touch. Looking down, finds Schultz. Merwin scurrying back to the other side of the midline as it comes back up top to Stone.
Now it's just a matter of possession, killing a little time. Get the ball in your surest
Actually, that was
hands.
Gibson back to Stone now. Yes, killing off that penalty is clearly job number 1. Stone looking.
Just run around.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Scott, the time of possession advantage Eagan has kind of gone a little bit more even with that third quarter. And this fourth quarter has been a lot of Lakeville with the ball. There's a very clean shot.
There we go, and what a nice shot by Gibson.
That was a big one by Gibson. Boy, I tell you, and you don't see, we haven't seen a lot of shots from that part of the field. That we up here were probably all saying, you got the shot, kid, take it.
Yeah, he, boy, nice low ground ball shot, snuck by the foot by the left side of A.J. Prechuk.
So Cats take a 1-goal advantage, 10-9 with 2:52 remaining in this contest. That was Gibson, I believe. Did it go in the books as unassisted? Great look for Cole Gibson. Big shot, and again, too, not an easy task putting that goal in the back of the net tonight. Their goaltender is playing on another planet right now.
He sure is. And, hey, what set that up, we talked about how to manage the man down to perfection. Spread out the field. Jack Stone did a nice job running around for about 15 seconds. And big, if we can hang on to it, big face-off win there.
Gallus to Meisinger, the very sure-handed Meisinger, who a little shovel pass back to Colbert, and Cats have possession, heading down towards the 2-minute mark as we get the touch. And again, we're pretty well versed at, and we're fleet-footed. I think the game plan here is to be smart with the ball, protect it, and look for good shots.
Yep, scoop it up and reset.
Yeah. Wilson, Johnny on the spot in that instance as he sets it up again.
Hey, and that's a smart play. Knowing game awareness, you're up by a goal, you're a little over 2 minutes. Don't rush the shot. Pick it up, reset, calm down.
Clearly, because he was actually in kind of Drew Wilson land for the shot. Just
there
like that, shot and score. 2 minutes, 2 seconds remaining. Cats go up by 2. Clearly trying to create some separation. The Panthers will they're going to kind of try to come out and get that possession, of course, and they are clearly going to have to come down and kind of push the issue.
So the answer here, we talked about, again, as we have possession in their end, looks a little bit more like the third quarter. The safest way to keep Keaton Mose out of the game is to be on offense.
Absolutely. No,
and we've had that last face-off win was a big face-off win, and it was encouraging to see that in this type of game at this stage in the game, and hopefully it's a sign for things to come.
Well, you know, those face-offs don't come easy. And Pavic's in there just digging. Just being engaged that long is a win for us, really. And the ball's still on the ground. A little bit of a push may have gotten away. And
that
looks
should
like
be gray ball.
It should be gray ball. And, boy, it is with 1:50 remaining. Okay, so, Scott, 1:50 remaining. Looks like Stone is going to get us started here.
There's no shot clock in high school lacrosse. Play catch.
Yeah, but once you get it in, you got to keep it in.
Yeah. So here we go. The sure-handed Wildcats trying to play smart lacrosse here. They're up 2 goals, 11-9, 1:30 remaining against the visiting Lakeville North Panthers as Jack Stone looking and looking. Right in the middle.
Oh, great,
Boy.
great finish.
Wow. Talk about finding the right man at the right time. That's number 2, Ryan Colbert from Jack Stone.
Yeah, you know, a couple things happened there. So Stone's a sure-handed ball handler. Saw on that man down how he could run around and drag people with him and kill time. And in the process of killing time, Ryan Colbert found an opening in front of the net, snuck in. Stone saw him, hit him, and converted for the 12th goal.
Absolutely.
That's
Cats up 3.
When you're going to hear us talk about the word lacrosse IQ. 2 players communicating, knowing where to be at the precise moment and how to manage the situation of the game and how to take advantage of a lapse in the defense. And that's an example of, you know, when we talk about lacrosse IQ.
Well, another perfect example of why those 2 connected as the ball's on the ground. They just can't seem to, and that looks like Soren Thrall, who makes the over to Wyatt Bucky.
Let's get it to a short stick here, boys.
We are talking about 2 guys on that last goal.
It's going to be Lakeville ball.
Yeah, it's going to be Lakeville ball.
Boy, it's so at this point in the game, you want to get it to a short stick as quick as you can,
Absolutely.
right? And you know what? Thrall and Bucky made a great effort there and took it to burn some time off the clock.
Absolutely. We're at 1 minute, 6 seconds if you aren't paying attention.
Oh,
ball on the ground.
Schultz and Colbert working there together to force a turnover.
Absolutely. Stone with the ball. We're under a minute. 12-9. Wildcats shot and a big
Stone
flag.
took a big hit.
So while Stone gets himself up pretty quickly and dusts himself off, back to that Stone to Colbert goal, both those guys are 2020 grads. And these guys have been playing lacrosse together for a long time. So while you talk about lacrosse IQ, 100% accurate, you're talking about 2 guys that have played lacrosse together for the last 10 years or something. So these are things that are going to start becoming more evident as different lines get out there. And this team is young. You talked about it, meaning we're stocked with juniors.
Yep, those are guys. Those are underclass juniors on the field in an incredibly high-pressure situation, trying to close out a game and to have the presence of mind to make that connection. We need to get a replay and a telestrator. You know,
yes,
I wonder if the Booster Club would spring for that.
Borrow the money from the football boosters.
Yeah, why not?
I think the Cats are.
I hear the Eagan Hockey Association has a bunch of money to
spend.
There you
go.
So maybe they could donate a telestrator. And
we'll have a bake sale. There's 30 seconds remaining, folks, and the Cats are working the perimeter, but they're going to look for a shot as well. That one did not find a mark, but it's going to be Cats ball. 26 seconds, 12-9 Wildcats.
So providing this result holds, which it should, we talked about responding to that pressure situation and which team and who would eventually step up. We saw Drew Wilson give us 2 big goals in the 4th quarter. And we saw the team come together and play with incredible amount of energy and hustle down the stretch here.
That's going to about do it, folks, as that ball's kind of rolling itself around. 5 seconds remaining.
A nice win.
That is a huge win. Scott, these guys came out tonight. We didn't know exactly which Wildcat team we were going to see. Were we going to see the team that responds in a tight spot, or the team that kind of gets a little out of its lane? And clearly the Cats played their most complete game to date.
They did.
So far.
There wasn't. We didn't experience that drought, that 10 to 12 minute drought. And when the game was on the line,
they responded.
Lakeville North was up 9-8, and the Wildcats ended with 4 unanswered goals, and in an incredibly high-pressure situation. That's the second tight win of the year, and I like this. As the young team's building its identity, it's like, hey, we can be down by a goal in the fourth quarter. Yeah, we can score with a second left. We can put a game away against a. Lakeville's goalie, it was lights out, and Eagan just kept after him and didn't give up, and finally cracked him in the fourth quarter.
And again, too, like we said, we've been waiting to see this moment where the team had to respond. We've had moments like this before. This is truly, we're a few games into the season more so than we were last time. The Cats came out tonight. They played top to bottom, probably their most solid game. Goaltending, defense, passing, field vision. They played a fantastic game. They earned this win. Great win for the Wildcats, and a great way to close out a Monday night.
Absolutely. So we have a game on Thursday, and now another test for the Wildcats. Shakopee's better than they have been. Shakopee played Lakeville North beat Shakopee by a goal. Shakopee beat Lakeville South. I know that doesn't matter, but we can't take the game off. We got to focus on Shakopee on Thursday and then deal with Saturday on Friday.
Now, clearly, we're going to Shakopee. As we watch the players congratulate the refs on a job well done, do the Wildcats have a more advantage in their minds as they head to Shakopee?
I think their confidence has to be up. Based on how they managed this game, it was back and forth. They were down in the fourth quarter. They came back and finished it off. Last 5 minutes were probably the best we've seen all season.
Clearly.
Momentum's there. The positivity's there. They got to be ready for Shakopee, and if they're not, Shakopee's capable of winning that game. So it's about being ready for that opponent and not looking ahead to Saturday.
Absolutely.
We know who's coming Saturday, and that's going to be a huge game, but we got to focus on the matter at hand on Thursday.
Yeah, we don't even want to say what a nice executed win in Shakopee would do for the game on Saturday. We've got job 1 right now. Took care of it. Job 2 is us going to Shakopee. So for Ken and Scott and Rich and Dave and all the guys from Eagan TV, we want to thank you for tuning in. We're going to catch you again from Shakopee, so make sure you're there. Things are picking up speed now. Scott, let's get ourselves ready to shop. Let's go tonight.
We should. Let's go.
Let's go camp. Can we get the Eagan TV guys to come? We're going to Shakopee, guys. We'll meet you there. Hey, good luck to the girls tonight. Great job by the Wildcats. We'll see you all on Thursday night.